Streamline flow. Streamline flow means suppose if a liquid is flowing and in that flow of liquid, each and every particle in the liquid, if it exactly, if the path of its preceding particle, that means if the liquid is flowing like this, better I'll take other color so that you can distinguish easily. So I am considering flow of some liquid. Mm, yes, yes. Now see some liquid is flowing like this. In this direction, some liquid is flowing. Suppose now, if the liquid flows in this particular direction, now what we are considering here, if I consider about this particular particle and this particular particle, okay, two particles I'm saying, and if this particle is flowing in this particular direction, its preceding particle in the flow, if this also follows exactly the same velocity and same path as this particle and same velocity, if this particle is having, okay, which one? The preceding particle of this particle I'm speaking about, its preceding particle also having same velocity and same path. So such flow of the fluid, we call it as a streamline flow. Okay, such flow of the fluid, we are calling it as a streamline flow. The path taken by a fluid particle under a steady flow is called streamline. We can consider in this particular way also. Suppose if the flow is in this particular way. Now, this particle and this particle, if I speak, so both are having in the same direction. At any point, if I consider both the particle and its preceding particle are having velocity in the same direction. So, such flow we are calling it as a streamline flow. So, instead of saying all this, if we want to say in simple terms, if we switch on tap with slow speed, if the water particles are coming out, slowly if it comes out, then all the particles will be having the same velocity, means the particle and its preceding particle will be having same velocity. Such flow, steady flow, we are calling it as a streamline flow. Okay, and we can also show with one more diagram. Well, like this, with one more diagram also we can show all the particles which are moving. Overall, if we represent in this way also, we can represent all the particles will be moving steady flow. This way also, the total system, if we represent in that way also, we can represent. Okay, that is about the streamline flow. Okay, so what we will write for this, the path taken by a fluid particle, the path taken by a fluid particle, under a steady flow. Under a steady flow, under a steady flow is a streamline. Right? Now, the streamline. Next one more kind of flow will be there, that is a turbulent flow. Turbulent flow. In this what we will be having, just quite opposite to that we can consider. That means if the particle if they are moving with critical velocity, a motion of a liquid becomes irregular. That means if they are not having such case like previous case, then what happens? If they move with some critical velocity, then the path won't be streamlined, it will be irregular. That means best example for this is if we switch on tap and in water tank full water is there, and if we switch on the tap completely, how the water will be flowing? With very fast velocities, they will be moving in irregular direction, right? So such kind of flow we call it as a turbulent flow. Okay, irregular flow we can call it as a turbulent flow. So what we can write in simple form, if we write like I'll give you one example also after writing. With a critical velocity, a critical velocity, the motion mm, the motion of liquid, the motion of liquid becomes irregular. Becomes irregular, right? So such such case what we are called, such a flow is called turbulent. Right? That is about a turbulent flow. That means they are moving irregularly. All the particles, they are not moving in a particular steady flow. So such we are calling it as a mm, next one. Next one, if you go with, means if we see diagram for this, suppose all the particles, if they are going like this, all the water particles are, suppose whatever liquid if we take, all they are going like this. In that, meanwhile, I placed some obstacle in between. Placed some obstacle. Suppose a little bigger if I place. What happens? So whatever it will touch, whatever particles are touching here, these will change their path. These may go straight only because they are not touching the obstacle, and the remaining particles, so these particles will change. It will go like this. Their velocity will change. Okay, so such particles velocity when it is changing, such motion we are calling it as a turbulent. Right? Such motion we are calling it as a turbulent. Next, so that is about streamlined flow and tubular flow. Here we used one word here. That about the word we will see. We'll continue. Here we use now one word, critical velocity. Normally critical velocity means in general we know, but what exactly critical velocity means, we'll see. Right, critical velocity we will have that. Then we will go with some important term. Right. Now, next one is what? Critical velocity. In critical velocity, if we are speaking about in this, so the velocity of a liquid only we are discussing. Critical velocity means, so the velocity of a liquid up to which its flow is streamlined, up to which its flow is streamlined. Beyond that, if its velocity becomes turbulent, such velocity we call it as critical velocity. So the velocity of which, up to which the up to which its flow is, up to which flow is streamlined, streamlined. Beyond that, beyond that particular velocity, we call we it will the flow becomes a turbulent. The flow becomes turbulent. So such velocity we are calling it as a critical velocity. I hope it is clear, and we will go with the next important term is Reynolds number. Reynolds number. So it is a simple term, like it is like a coefficient which we discussed previously. It will be where it went. No. Right. So Reynolds number. Reynolds number usually it is indicated by letter capital R. Okay. So what exactly Reynolds number is? Whose value gives the idea whether the flow would be turbulent or not. Suppose some fluid is flowing, whether the flow is turbulent flow or not can be given by this number, Reynolds number. So we are not having any much derivation for this. Directly we are going with formula of this. Formula for this is, directly we will write it as rho v d by n. We will write rho v and d by n. We will write. So the terms will be having their own names. So density, V is volume, D is diameter of that flow we can consider. N, actually this N will be having a specific name that will come in the next topic. This we call it as a, what we call that, viscosity we call, that comes next. Okay. Now, so if this Reynolds number, only just keep in mind about the top our topic name, Reynolds number. What does it give? It gives whether the flow is turbulent or not. If R value is less than 1000, if R value is less than 1000, then the flow is streamline. And the flow is streamline. If R value is E is greater than 1000, if it is greater than 1000, then the flow is turbulent. The flow is turbulent. If R value lies in between 1000, sorry, here I made one small mistake. Here it should be 2000. If R value is greater than 2000, it is turbulent, not greater than 1000. If R value less than 1000, it is streamlined. R value is greater than 2000, it is turbulent. That means if it is in between, that means if R value is in between 1000 and 2000, what about that? Okay. If R value, Reynolds number value is less than 1000 and 2000, it is unsteady flow we call. Unsteady flow we call. Okay. That means it is it looks like streamline as well as turbulent. We cannot even exactly say. That is about Reynolds number. I'll go with the next important concept, that is a equation of continuity. So our next topic is equation of continuity. In this, we will be taking flow only. Now we have started taking about the liquids flow. So I have some arrangement like this. Oh, I have to take not straight line. No, better I'll take here itself. So I have something like arrangement like this. What happens? I have an arrangement like this. Like this, an arrangement I have. So in this, I have one side area, bigger area I have, another side smaller area I have. In that, a liquid is flowing. Okay, in that a liquid is flowing. Suppose if this is A1 and this is A2. Okay, now what we write according to equation of continuity is, if there is no fluid source or sink along the length of a pipe, if there is no fluid source, that means no other entrance is there for this, for the fluid to enter in between, or no other gap is there for the fluid to come out of it. Only one path if it exists for the fluid flow, only one line if it exists. In this, if fluid flows like this, if fluid flows in this particular way, and what I considered areas are differently, I have considered for my convenience in this. Now, so what is happening here? If fluid is flowing in such a pipe, then mass of the fluid crossing any section of the pipe per unit time remains constant. What I'm speaking about, mass of fluid, mass of fluid crossing through any cross section area. I mean here or here or here, anywhere throughout the pipe, the mass of the fluid crossing per unit area per unit time remains constant. So what I'm speaking about, mass remains constant. Mass remains constant per through any area for any cross section. So mass generally, what we can write for mass, if here the volume is V1, here the volume if it is V2, right? Mass we can write in terms of density as density is equals to mass by volume. Okay, density is equals to mass by volume. Now, here mass is equals to density into volume. I can write density into volume. I can write it as area into area into length into area. I'm writing means length into length into length. It becomes a volume. So length into area. I'm writing this becomes volume. And this length I'm writing in terms of its speed a into v. I'm writing here. It is a small v. Sorry, here it is a small v, not volume. V is what? Speed of the fluid. Here we have to make sure that one condition, when I'm considering mass, the substance which I have considered here, the substance density will be same throughout. So density will be constant. So only mass depends on what? Only area and speed. So here I am considering speed. When I am considering speed, only distance I am taking. Okay. So how much fluid is flowing per unit length, in terms of that I am taking. Okay, so speed also I am considering it as the same. I mean speed only changes, that speed I am considering per same length. So I am taking, instead of taking length, I am taking in terms of its velocity or speed. Okay, so a into v I am writing. A into v is what? Our mass. So here we can write a into v is equals to constant. I am writing for equation of continuity. Instead of taking distance by time I am taking, where time is equal I am taking, and I'm considering equal times, so distance also becomes equal. Okay, so a into v I am taking, in terms of taking distance I am taking it as speed. A into v is equals to constant. That means a1 into v1 is equals to a2 into v2. We can write this is what our equation of continuity. And from here we can write one more expression. Area is inversely proportional to speed. We will write this is not volume, keep it in mind. Capital V is volume. Okay, so that is about equation of continuity. According to equation of continuity, the speed of or the area of cross section of a pipe is inversely proportional to speed of the flow which is there inside it. So this is called equation of continuity, right? Now, mm, next, based on equation of continuity, we will go with Bernoulli's theorem. That is important. So what we are considering, for unit time I have taken distance became speed. Okay, speed is equals to distance by time. Now, Bernoulli's theorem is important concept. So according to Bernoulli's theorem, now Bernoulli's theorem. What does Bernoulli's theorem says? Here a little derivative part will be the same similar kind of arrangement what we have taken in the last equation of continuity. Same kind of thing we will consider. For a streamlined flow, according to Bernoulli's theorem, for a streamlined flow only we are considering, for a streamlined flow of an ideal liquid, for a streamlined flow of an ideal liquid, for a streamlined flow of an ideal liquid, the total energy the total energy per unit mass, per unit mass remains constant. This is what Bernoulli's theorem. We have to prove this. We have a proof also. We will do that. At every cross section throughout the flow remains constant at every cross section. Every cross section throughout the flow. Throughout the flow. This is what our Bernoulli's theorem. What we have to take? We have to take that total energy per unit mass we have to take for at any cross sectional area. We have to show that it is constant. The liquid is ideal liquid. That means it is perfectly incompressible and non-viscous. Okay, perfectly incompressible and non-viscous. That means it is not sticky in nature. So such a liquid we are taking in case of Bernoulli's theorem. And the total energy means we have to take sum of pressure energy and potential energy and kinetic energy. Three energies we are considering here. The sum of those three we will consider as a constant. So same kind of energy we will be taking when we are going with the proof of this. Proof I'm going with. We have to prove the sum of the three energies. We have to take it as a constant. For that I'm taking an diagram like this. So such a arrangement I have. No, in this. So here one area of cross section, here some bigger area of cross section. No. So if this in this kind of arrangement, if a fluid flows, in this kind of arrangement, if fluid flows, so this from base, if it is at some height, if this is at a certain height from the base, okay. Now from ground it is at certain height. Now as it is a ground, I am marking it. And the first area of cross section is at certain height h1 I am considering. Okay, and the second one is at a height of h2 I am considering. Right, h1 h2. Now I will mark it. This is what is given in the scenario. Now in this, so what else we have here? The area of cross section here I am considering it as some a1. A1 as area of cross section. Here area of cross section I am taking it as some a2. Okay. Now, so here the pressure present over here I am considering it as some P1. Here pressure present over at this A2 area of cross section is P2, and the starting point I am considering A, and this point I am considering it as some B. So this is what the given situation. And speed over here I am considering it as velocity here V1. It is entering with a velocity V1, and here it is leaving with a velocity of V2, the fluid which I am considering in this. Okay, that is what the given situation. Now already we have from continuity, equation of continuity we can write. From equation of continuity what we can write? From equation of continuity. From equation of continuity, what we can write? A1 V1 is equals to A2 V2 we can write. Already we had in the previous topic itself, A1 V1 is equals to A2 V2, right? So whatever we have here, speeds only, in terms of those speeds only I have written. Now, so we have from equation of continuity, already we have seen in the previous topic, A1 V1 is equals to A2 V2. Okay. So here keep in mind V1 is speed per unit time, that is equal to displacement also. Okay. Now, so based on this, if I write work done per second on the liquid at cross section A, if we write, so where we are writing at A cross section, we are writing at A. So two cross sections we have. At A cross section, if I write work done per second, if I write per second, I am mentioning. So work done, we will write it as what do we write? Work done force into displacement. Our force is pressure into area I am considering. Okay, so at cross sectional area A I am writing, force is pressure into area, we can write area of first surface is A1. Okay, and force into displacement. Displacement I am considering in terms of speed because I have mentioned per unit time. So per unit time, speed and displacement will become equal, as we have seen in equation of continuity also. V is equals to x by t when t is equals to 1. So v and x will become equal. In that sense I am taking. So this work done can be taken as pressure into area is force and v is our speed, right? Speed is nothing but displacement only per unit time. Now p a1 v1 is work done per second at cross sectional area A1. Next, at B, what happens? At B, if we write the same expression, this we can, of course, we can extend this. A1, B1 is what volume we can write. Okay, so P into V we can also write. Okay, now, so volume we got. Next, work done per second at the surface B if we write. At the surface B if we write, what do we get? Just check. Same way we can write P2, sorry, P, pressure will be same throughout. So P A2 and V2 we can write. Okay. This if I write, we can write P into, sorry, pressure here depends on this. Here pressure will be different, here pressure will be different. P1V and P2 A2 V2 can be written as P2 into V. Volume of the liquid will be same throughout. In that sense I am considering. So A2 V2 is equals to V. Why I am considering A1 V1 equals to A2 V2? Because already we know from equation of continuity. So based on that I have taken fixed value. Okay, V. So how we are getting V is from equation of continuity. This is the work done for sending the liquid through area of cross section A1 is this, through area of cross section A2 is this. So we got two energies. Now the net work done, if we write, what we will get? Net work done. Net work done if we write. So we can write P1V minus P2V, we can write net work done. P1V minus P2V. Change in work done can be taken as net work done. Okay. Now, so this is what we got. Next, what we are considering, if that is about due to pressure, in terms of pressure we have got, that is nothing but the energy due to pressure. Now if we write potential energy, what we write? So here it is height h1 mg h1, we can write, here we can write mg h2. So for the increase in potential energy, if we write increase in potential energy, if we write, what we can write is equals to mg h2 minus mg h1, we can write directly mgh2 minus mgh1. Same way kinetic energy also it will get okay. So increase in kinetic energy, if we write increase in kinetic energy, if I write of m v2 square minus half m v1 square, we can write this is increase in kinetic energy. Now, so according to work energy theorem, what we can get, due to pressure only all these energies are getting. So according to work energy theorem, we can write P1V minus P2V, pressure energy only giving us all this. So that can be written as mgh2 minus mgh1 plus half mv2 square minus half mv1 square, we can write. Okay, so this is what we are getting from work energy theorem. From work energy theorem, if we apply work energy theorem, we got this. Now, so from here, what else we can write here is I'm taking ones one side and two other side. Now, so what do we get? P1 V plus mg h1 negatives, so I'm bringing left side, next minus half m v1 square is equals to p2v plus mg h2 plus half m v2 square. Okay, half m v2 square we can write. M v2 square, all this we can get, right? Now from here we can simply write just like a1 v1 is equals to a2 v2. When we are having, we can directly, we have written it as av is equals to constant. Here also p v plus m g h minus, this becomes plus now when it comes to left side, plus half m v square. So this becomes equal to constant, and when it becomes equal to constant, so they are asking energy per, total energy per unit mass they asked. So based on that, if we write, so we have to divide this throughout equation with the mass. So p v by m plus mgh by m is gh plus half mv square by m is half v square is equals to constant. And here we can write one more extension to this is PV by M. V by M is what? M by V is the density. So V by M is rho. So P by rho plus GH plus half V square is equals to constant we can write. And still if we extend, we can write P plus rho GH, P plus rho GH, wait a minute, rho GH, I'm just taking rho other side, anyhow it will be constant, no? Rho GH plus half rho V square is equals to constant we can write. Okay, so anyhow rho will be constant, no? That I am taking other side, and we can consider it as a constant term. Okay, so this is what we get, an expression for Bernoulli's theorem. So total energy remains constant. Okay, now, so based on this, we have plenty applications based on Bernoulli's theorem that we will see. Here, when we go with the applications of Bernoulli's principle, this aerofoil I am considering, aerofoil. No, this shape of aerofoil creates a faster flow. Due to its shape only, a faster flow will be created. What exactly happens in this is, over the top surface area, the airflow will be faster. So usually the airflow will be in this particular way. Just a minute. The airflow, usually it will be, airflow will be like this. So over the top surface, the airflow will be faster, and at lower surface, it will be slower. Due to that, the motion of these aeroplanes makes it easy. So this is a application of Bernoulli's principle only. Okay. So what it creates, that creates some pressure difference, and that pressure difference causes upwards lift. Okay, that pressure difference only causes upward lift. So this pressure difference, whatever we are getting, that is, that can be treated as an application of Bernoulli's principle. Next one, if we stand very close to, usually when people are getting down from the bus, as soon as they get down, the conductor usually he will tell the person to move away. The reason is, so when the bus goes very fast, due to the pressure difference, the person maybe fall towards the bus. So it may be dragged towards it due to the pressure difference created. Suppose if this is a bus arrangement, if we take now, so if a person is standing over here near to that, so whatever pressure difference takes place here to here, due to pressure difference, what happens, this person may fall towards this. So to avoid that, what he has to do, as soon as he gets down, due to movement of the bus, there may create some pressure difference and it may come onto this. So thus that pressure energy remains constant, no, generally. So here what happens, so it creates some pressure difference due to its movement. That pressure difference may make the person to fall towards it. That is also comes under applications of Bernoulli's principle.